Yeah,
I'm tired.
go for it.
We're back. We've been gone for it's been like 2 months. I remember I think I got when I got my hair done in November, I was excited to film because my hair was like all cute and new. I think we did film one episode though in November. So it hasn't been that long actually, which is not bad. I
Yeah.
think the last time we filmed was when I got my hair done. So that was like 2 months ago. Yeah. Yikes. But we're back. We had Christmas. We had New Year's. It's 2023. First podcast of the year. And a lot has changed. Not really. Nothing really has changed. Has anything changed?
No, my life doesn't change much.
I mean, I got new jewelry. I got these. But I couldn't put these on because... Oh, you got your ears pierced. Did they hurt? Because I literally can't put the headphones on with this.
They do not hurt.
Not right now?
Not right now.
This was hurting. These earrings? Having the headphones on? Is that weird?
I'm not sure. I'm not used to having my ears pierced yet.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have big earrings on right now, though. Super big ones. These are huge, as you guys can see. But anyway, they were back after 2 months. And what should we talk about first?
Let's get right into the shit. So, obviously, one of the more popular things that everybody's talking about is the whole. Give me a second while I get situated. Everybody's talking about the whole Kai situation. So, we might as well start with that. Now, I'm going to paraphrase and kind of go off the top of what happened. So I'm not gonna. I was gonna do the whole thing, like get the screenshots, read through the whole thing, do your journalistic integrity, like do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I'd rather just paraphrase as to what happened.
Yeah, 'cause it wasn't like a whole bunch that happened anyway.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, even though you should know at this point with how large of a story this has become, essentially there was a young woman that was invited to. We have to throw allegedly on everything because this could potentially be an open case. So I'm not going to throw anything on anybody, and we don't know the facts, and the police are allegedly involved. So we're going to let all of that play out. We're not on this show. We're not doing any of that speculation or throwing things on people which we don't know to be true. But essentially, a young lady was invited to Kai's party, and supposedly she got very intoxicated. She was going to leave. Kai, and all this is alleged. I got to say alleged 100 times, so sorry. But, legal purposes, they be coming at these YouTubers now.
Yeah.
But allegedly she got really intoxicated. Kai said you'd probably be safer upstairs in a room versus going outside because, on the streets, anything could happen. Getting in Ubers with, random drivers, like, you wouldn't want that on your conscience. So he told her to just go upstairs and just sleep. And I don't think that's abnormal. I've slept at I've slept at parties. I've knocked out, especially like the house parties. I don't know how parties work everybody does house parties, though, right? Like in all other parts of the country.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Jersey house parties are kind of like legendary, like kind of like known for that.
What?
Like just the concept of having a house party. Like some places, like I
feel like house parties are common everywhere though.
Yeah, I feel like Atlanta, they usually go to like clubs though. But whatever, nonetheless.
Yeah, but house parties, you like when we really was in the heart of house parties, we were all like high school, college. So no one's really going to the clubs in high school and college either, like money. Like if you think about it, most of the house parties is when people are in their early 20s, late teens.
Yeah.
We don't really got money to go to the club like that anyway.
Yeah, either way, so she fell asleep upstairs and then was allegedly SA'd by an individual that was at the party, and she used the word brutally, and she had posted pictures of blood, and I think there was I gotta say SA. I don't know how to do like the censored version of the R word, but she had a kit. I think correct me if I'm wrong. She had a kit. I think she did like the test and everything like that. I don't know if she went to the hospital.
I think so. That's when we could get it.
Oh, and then yeah. So. So basically, I don't think that she's lying about that, just given all of the different things that she had proof and evidence of.
Yeah.
So something definitely did happen, and I don't
'Cause
think.
she wouldn't have like unless you know.
I mean, people do crazy
yeah.
stuff, and
You can make a fake one, but I don't think she would do that. Like
yeah, this is
that'd
gone.
be a huge like defamation, like huge lawsuit for her.
That's
Like,
OD.
I don't think she would lie.
And I don't think that this, because usually when people lie about this kind of stuff, it doesn't, there's not this amount of evidence.
Yeah.
So
And she had like a napkin with blood on it.
yeah, so an individual at the party essayed her, and basically the whole turmoil came because she was trying to identify who this person was, and because it was Kai's party, she reached out to him to try to get the identification. And where the backlash is coming from is that Kai pretended to not know who the person was.
Yeah, like I think he was like he didn't know her.
Yeah, he said.
I mean him.
Yeah, he's like, that's not my friend. I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Whatever. So the young lady went through the guy's Instagram, and found pictures of them together.
Yeah.
Sent it to him, like,
And he
you know,
follows him.
right.
And he only follows like 100 people.
Right. So obviously she was extremely hurt because she was saying, thought you were my friend and you're trying to protect this person after they just did this crazy act. Now, that's where the backlash came from. And, there's three sides to every story. But when it all came out, it painted him in a crazy picture. And, we still don't know, right? I'm not trying to defend anybody. We still don't know. We just got to get all the facts, and that's all I'm saying here. But it looked really bad, trying to cape for your mans, especially with what happened, right? Mm-hmm. So it looks a little crazy, and I know he's young, but at the same time, like,
I mean, at 21,
you would have to know.
Would know.
Now, his side of the story is that the only reason why she even got his Instagram, I'm pretty sure this is what happened, is that the only reason she got his name in the first place is because he told his team to provide her with the name, and that's how she got the information in the first place, like the Instagram, the name, all that kind of stuff. So supposedly he did provide it to her, but it was only after consulting with like his lawyers and everything else, because you don't want to just.
Because then technically, aren't you like, if you maybe his lawyer said that, wouldn't you be like not an accessory, but
like you don't want to. You just want to make sure you're moving smart and correctly, because
you don't want to withhold information.
Right, because when the police get involved, then this case becomes something else. Like you don't know, he might have to show up as a witness in a trial.
Yeah,
right?
and that was your house.
Right.
You
might be liable if people get damaged like their property, but if people get injured or
at your
property, you're, as a homeowner, or you were just renting it, whatever, you're liable for whatever happens. So I don't know if anybody knows that, but just a random example.
And you probably told him that.
If, like, let's say you have a playground in your backyard with no fence, and your neighbor's kids come over on the playground and they get hurt on your playground in your backyard, you're still liable as a homeowner for their injuries. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like a similar situation, I would assume, that he would have some potential legal issues. So I think, based on what he was saying, I think that's smart, right? You don't want to just start throwing out names and this person did this, and because you don't know where this could go in a court trial. So
I wonder if he knew, though,
that he did it.
Yeah, because like I wonder how that even became a thing. Like, how did she remember what he looked like? Like, maybe there weren't a lot of people at the house, so it was easy to narrow down.
Yeah, I saw.
That's thing. Did he tell him after the fact? Like, oh, I got the friend. Did he tell Kai that? Like, oh, I went upstairs. I got what's her face, whatever. Like.
Yeah, I don't know.
It makes me wonder.
Because I saw TikTok. It was just one TikTok of another person that was at the party, and it looked really like sparse. Like it didn't look like there was really anybody there. It was just like, there was space. It wasn't like some packed out.
It was like a kickback.
Yeah, like it wasn't 200 people in the party. Like it just looked like some regular, normal sort of party. So realistically, it probably wasn't hard to identify whoever it was. But that's basically a breakdown of what happened. Now I guess we can give our opinions on this whole situation.
Well, then Kai too also went on stream and
Kai went on stream and explained his side of the story, like why he didn't give the name, which we said already.
But some people said that he needs like a PR person, because some people feel like just how he was talking kind of made it look bad for him, and there wasn't a whole lot of like vouching for the girl.
He did get on there and say like, telling everybody, because his little kids are his primary fan group, so he did get on there and was like, but
people were saying they wish he would have just been more like vouching for her and stuff, like as opposed to kind of vouching for himself. like he should have been more like opposed to what happened and like said, more in her defense.
Now, while I don't disagree, and this is hopefully doesn't sound like I'm keeping for him, but because I'm really not. But maybe, what the thing is, it's like sometimes I try to put my principles on other people, so it might sound like I'm vouching for them, but I'm really not. When I'm really just trying to like, hopefully they're thinking the same way I would have been thinking. But maybe it was due to some like the same thing with the legal thing. Like maybe he's not trying to say too much.
Well, yeah, he said that.
Yeah, say too much and then have that be on the record with the cops. And maybe he did. Maybe that other guy didn't really do it. Maybe it was somebody else. Like we really just genuinely don't know until more information comes out. But I do agree because what happens in these things is you see these athletes like they have to go through PR training. When they get up on the mic, they have to be trained to not say certain things. They answer questions a certain way. Don't make the organization look bad. All these sorts of things. They go through all this training. But when you notice like with the Travis situation, with the Astroworld concert, when he did the interview with Charlemagne, like he wasn't very like articulate with what he was saying. He couldn't communicate his thoughts properly, and that type of stuff makes it way worse. So I definitely agree. Like these people need to get PR teams.
Yeah, I think he was just trying his best with what he can say. Like I'm sure he knows what's going on, but like I said, people were just wishing that he was more so like what happened was terrible and blah blah. Like they kind of wished he was doing more of that, like in defense of her. At the end of the day, like no matter what, that's like the worst thing. Like what's happened to him is not anything compared to what happened to her.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on the side of never mind. Always be like wanting to say it, but like I don't know if you can say it.
What?
About like what I believe that rapists like what should happen to them. Oh, I said the word. Sorry.
I think you're allowed to say these words.
Oh, okay. I don't know because YouTube be super sensitive.
Weird.
It'd be super sensitive, but you know how I feel. Mm-hmm. Like I believe that they should have things done to them. So, so I feel very strongly about stuff like this. So reading it was a lot to read through. But I don't know, man. I mean, there's a lot of things to unpack here. Like first and foremost.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, from his standpoint, right? Like, that's your friend, right? And it should always be believe women, but women do lie sometimes. So it's kind of hard because now you're in a weird spot. It's like, do I believe this woman or do I get the story from my friend? Because she could be lying.
Yeah, she could be.
But then what could she gain from lying on him?
Everything's clout. I'm not saying that she did this, but I'm saying, people do wild stuff. So
yeah.
You can never put anything past anybody, but given the amount of evidence, and she actually took the steps to, go to the hospital.
Yeah, I think once he knew that, then he should have just been honest.
Yeah.
About like.
Or just don't reply. Like, give it a second. Like, if you're doing that whole, like, you want to figure everything out first and then give a response to her text, then do that. Because you got to think, anything that you put out and, like, digitally, text, social media, that's anybody's perception is they're gonna see that and take it a million different ways, and you can't control that. So it's better to just not reply, figure out whatever you need to figure out, and then give a response. But I figured this would happen at some point with him because
I mean, I didn't think it was gonna be this.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be
but
this.
Anytime there's somebody famous, it's unfortunate. There's always something like with this girl on TikTok who came out of nowhere, the Alex Earl something. Everybody's like. And some people are psychotic. They're like, oh, I can't wait for something that comes out that cancels her. Like, people are just weird. It's like, but it's unfortunate. It's always going to be a scandal.
Now, wait.
Always.
Prayers to that girl because, like I said, like that's one of the worst, in my opinion, one of the worst things you could do to somebody. And I feel very strongly about that. So what we're saying here, just because, people mix up stuff. We're not saying that somebody set up him to get canceled.
We just, there's always something that happens.
It's just, you knew this was coming, right? Yeah, but I say that to say that once you get to these points and these levels, these streamers like him, Speed, XQC, Aiden, all these people are getting to this level of fame where you have so much to lose.
Yeah, I saw a tweet about
that. This is why I believe, who was it? Was it Young M.A.? I think it was Young M.A. did an interview one time and she was like, I don't care about day ones because the person that was with you from day one, that don't mean that they're gonna not snake you in the future. And this is one of those things where I feel like once you hit a certain level, you have to
separate yourself.
You got to separate yourself from people.
But I said, it's like he's a prime example of when you get big, you gotta separate yourself from the crowd because the wrong people will bring you down and defame you and your character.
Exactly. And I know.
I mean, and he probably has seen red flags. Like, I feel like if you know your friend,
come on, bro.
You probably seen him act like a creep when you guys were out. Like, you had to have seen some stuff. Him being pushy.
If he's one of those people that's like trying to get girls drunk, like if he's one of those, like, oh, keep drinking, here's another shot, like if he's one of those, nah, bro, you gotta cut that off.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it would suck if he was just completely blindsided and he really didn't know that this was her person that was in his group. But it is kind of sad. That's why, like you said, day one thing really doesn't mean nothing when you make it to a certain level, because those same people would mess up everything you built.
Yeah, instantly, right?
Like, you in his house, come on, like that's your friend who's bringing you up with you, like, you know, with him. You're enjoying like the fruits of his labor, you know, and that's nothing in your head was like, let me not do this in his house. Like, and not saying he shouldn't have done it at all, but like, not like, you at least have respect for your friend. If you don't have respect for women, at least have respect for your friend. You know?
Yeah, that's crazy to me. Right? You could have potentially, maybe millions of dollars lost, right? Like in future streams and just in general, if people really, I mean, his audience is mostly little teenage boys, so they're probably not gonna unsubscribe or stop messing with him. Mm-hmm. But just in general, right? Like, SZA was just a couple weeks ago saying she wanted to be on the stream. Like, now she's gonna look crazy if she comes on there. So like, now you're missing out on more people coming on the platform, right? You can't be dealing with people from your past like that, bro. Like, for real. I get the whole, people be like, oh, you switched up, and it's like, yeah, well, I kind of had to, because like
we, you know,
bad for business.
Yeah, like we're cool when we're all on the same level and broke and just went to high school together, but
right. And obviously, this goes without saying, but sometimes we have to say things because people don't know us. But we're not saying here that this would have been okay if Kai was still just Kai from the Bronx, like, and this happened. It's not okay under any circumstances. But it's just, you know, we're just talking about him specifically dealing with that fame part. Like, you cannot be dealing with these people. It's bad for business. You shouldn't even, you just won streamer of the year. You shouldn't even have to be dealing with stuff like this. So, you know, fuck that guy if he did do it. Like I said, more information will come out. So it's fuck that guy. Hopefully she's doing well as she can be. But yeah, and you know, he's sitting like Kai getting choked up talking about his mom and his sister calling him like, why are we hearing these things? Like, this is the crowd you keep, like that type of stuff. That's tough.
Yeah, cause that sucks. Cause like, that's not who he is.
As far as we know.
Yeah, as far as we know. And his probably is just like, yeah.
It's just like, damn, like, why couldn't... That's what I'll never understand about... I know I'm not going to sit here and act like that doesn't happen probably more prevalently in other people's cultures, but because we're a part of it, I always got to talk about our culture. I don't know why we can't just go out and just be chilling.
I know, everything is like, it's sad. Every time you go out, it's like there's a fight.
Always something.
Somebody got killed. There's, you know, sexual assault. It's like...
I just saw a TikTok about Jersey City and Newark's beef still going on. Like, somebody laid out in the streets. It's just like...
It's just sad because, like, we, like, as a people, like, we create, like, some great things, like music, culture-wise and everything. It's like, why can't we ever just, like, just be chill? You know? Like, why is there always a problem? Like, why don't people just want to have fun? I don't get it.
That don't make no sense. But...
Is that a first? Sorry, I'm distracted.
Hopefully everything works out as much as it can, right? Like, we'll keep waiting for more details, and of course we'll come back up here and do a more in-depth breakdown as to the additional details, you know, as they emerge with the police, and we'll see if this guy really did it, if he didn't do it. I don't know. You know, this definitely blindsided me. You knew something was coming, because, you know, anytime somebody gets a level of popularity,
there's always something.
But again, yeah, hopefully she's okay. Like, that's the number one thing.
Yeah.
Fuck the whole fame thing.
I mean, I feel like you never recover
you can't
for that.
be, right? Because that's nuts.
Yeah. Especially, like, how he looks. Like, not saying that was any better.
I wasn't going to go there, but...
I'm not saying that means anything, but it's like, ew. Ugh. That would literally make me, like, I would probably throw up, like, literally.
Bro, I never understood that. Like, I hate when...
And the fact that she was bleeding, too, that means, like, it's not... Like, he was probably...
Oh, damn.
Sad.
I hate the...
How does that even feel good if it... Like, I don't get it.
I hate the... I hate all men brigade. While I, of course, do understand the emotions behind those sorts of posts, especially when shit like this happens. Mm-hmm. It's like... I be feeling the same way low key sometimes because I'm like, there's certain shit that guys do, like this in particular, like I just can't because I'm not like that, so I just can't.
Because it's
wrap
like,
my
you
mind
know,
around
as a
it.
man, like he's
It's
using
like,
the fact that he's a man as to get some
like the
control.
like that whole like getting girls drunk thing and like trying to get them to do drugs and smoke with me or like, oh, I'm a photographer, like trying to put women in scenarios
Yeah.
where like they trying to use something as a crutch to bag them. Like that whole thing is so weird to me, bro.
Yeah.
I cannot understand that shit. I cannot. I don't get it, and it's so weird and creepy.
Yeah, because my thing is like, if you just not like, there's a girl out there for you. It
Yeah,
might not be the
that's what I'm
girl that you
saying.
want.
That's what I'm
Sorry,
saying.
you don't look good enough to get the girl that you want. Sorry, like,
Or men that are in positions of power that try to do stuff, or like when people join the fraternities and it's like, oh, I'm so and so.
yeah, that was like a thing a lot of girls experience. I never
Oh my
experienced that
God.
personally, but I hear stories from like a lot of like friends or like even my line sisters, like before they were AKs, like, oh, this guy came up to me, he was like, I'm alpha, and then she was like, okay,
Shiver me timbers. What
like
am I going to
I'm supposed to be gassed because you you joined this organization.
I don't get it, bro.
Like, that's what it means, something.
Yeah, I mean, word of advice, bro. Separate yourself from all these people. I know this is a crazy scenario because he technically didn't do anything, but the way it's framed looks crazy.
It's just making him look bad, and like, it's unfortunate because like the girl went through something crazy.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like,
Damn.
see, I hate being like devil's advocate for stuff because it's like you. It's like it's that, like, I mean, obviously be mad at him too, but it's like I think she kind of put his name out there to bring more attention to it because she knows like his name is attached to that attention. So it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm sure I know she's upset and like maybe she wants to show him, like, the world how he really is, but it's like at the same time it's like, I don't know. It's like, dang, you kind of use this situation to like drag him down into it, you know? Because she could have just exposed the guy without having to expose Kai, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could still expose him too, because that is kind of messed up. Like, that's, you know, if you're saying you didn't know somebody, like you did, like, I don't get that lying part. Like,
Yeah, that part was confusing to me.
that was weird.
Unless, and I'm not gonna even give any sort of like cop outs, but
Yeah.
that part was definitely weird. So it's not like he didn't do anything wrong, but of course, the fact that he didn't do the actual act makes it like a tough scenario because you're the one getting killed, not even necessarily like he's getting killed more almost than the guy himself,
Yeah,
which makes it tough.
because he has the name.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it's just a hard situation. I always like to play devil's advocate because, like, as you know, as the friend, you, like I said, you still gotta try to find out, whoa, like what happened. You know, just
yeah, because that's a crazy like
what's that touchdown?
that's a crazy even like text to get.
Yeah, like, 'kay, so he probably got to get the information, you know, like before he just, 'cause, like you said, girls, you know, you should always believe women, but sometimes I don't really like that mentality because a lot of women have lied in the past. Like, a lot of women have got put men to jail. Like, you see with this Gervonta Davis thing, like her calling the police, acting like she was getting killed just for her to come back and be like, I lied. Like, you know, it's crazy. So like, I don't always want to like believe. It's sad, but I it's hard because of the world we live in. Like, it's so hard to believe women right away. Like, I just need the facts. That's it. Like, it's not about not believing women. I just want facts.
Yeah,
Whatever facts.
and
are the
everybody
case.
wants to jump to a conclusion, but
Because
that's why.
like everybody was saying, like, but her, it's like, why not call the police right away? You know, like why was this on Twitter? You know?
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully everything works out
Yeah.
in the end, and we'll come back with any updates that we find. But for now, not looking too good for really either one of them.
Yeah.
Well, for anybody. But we'll come back and see. But hopefully this will be a learning experience for, you know, other people in these type of scenarios. Like, I know,
Like, the thing with Kai, I think he should have admitted that he knew the guy. He could say, yeah, I know him. Here's his information.
that's the thing because
He could still try to figure out what's going on, but still say, yeah, here's his name. Here's who this guy is.
right, because technically, I know we said the legal lawyer part earlier, but him giving a name doesn't necessarily mean that he's saying
or him
it.
saying he knows him.
It's not him saying that he did it. It's not like an admission of guilt or
Yeah,
anything like
you
that.
just
So
say, I know him because, you know, yeah, that's one thing I'm kind of weirded out about. He should never lied about that.
yeah, I don't know.
You could still find out the facts and everything, but he should have just said, yeah, like that. I know him. Like, he was my friend.
Well, we will see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm sure the girl can't speak much anymore either on social media.
Yeah.
A running case.
Yeah, once the case is open, and that's about it. So.
I forgot what her page is called.
But. Were you gonna look for it, or?
Yeah. I was trying to find the girl's page, see if there's any updates. Oh man. But see, at least some people were like, let's take the focus off of him and put it directly on this guy. I don't know how to say his name. Did you I don't know how to say that. I don't know what the girl's Twitter is though.
She might deactivate it.
Maybe. Let me see. You know, if I type in the guy's name, maybe. How was it?
It's fine. We don't need
I'ma
to
find it.
we don't really need to look it up. We can move on.
I'm gonna find it.
I would highly doubt that he still has any social media at this point.
Who?
The guy.
No, I'm looking for the girl. Her. She hit it right. Oh, well, I guess she taking death threats. Ooh,
Shocking.
Why'd she say that? She said for all his friends and his fans. And she tagged Kai. I guess maybe she was trying to get attention to him. Maybe it was like, stop, get your fans. I mean, he did say, no, don't do that.
Yeah, but he can't. It's just like.
Yeah, you can't control that. That's so evil, though.
Remember when, what was it, Beyonce told people to chill out and they told her to shut up? Or it was
Yeah.
like Nicki said something and
Yeah.
they told her to shut up. It's the same thing. It's a bunch of weirdo kids. Like,
But she's saying, you do me a favor. I guess she's saying, I don't know if she's saying she's like suicidal or something. I don't know.
yeah, you know, it would just be weirdo kids on the internet.
Yeah.
I don't play with the internet shit. So, yeah. Got anything else?
Not on this, no.
What else we got?
I don't know.
We got no other topics. That was realistically the biggest thing, as of late. But yeah, I don't even know what else we got. What's happened? I'll be so far out the loop.
Yeah, wait, what happened last month? In December and in the new year?
I feel like nothing.
I just feel like it's been tragedy. People dying.
Yeah,
A lot of people dying.
a lot of.
Or getting hurt.
Yeah, it was definitely a crazy week celebrity-wise with Damar Hamlin, of course, Jeremy Renner. Who else? A lot of random heart attacks and
That guy,
stuff.
the snowmobile guy.
Yeah, Ken Block. A lot of the random heart attacks, people trying to attribute it to the vax.
Yeah, that happened today too. I don't know what's going on, but I just seen this like an hour ago. Look, Old Dominion. I don't know.
The college?
Yeah, he just like randomly passed out. It's a lot of weird stuff. And someone's like anyone who says they've seen this many athletes collapsing before 2020 is a lie.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
I've watched a lot of
sports.
watched a lot of sports, and I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm mad I had to get this stupid shit. Yup.
Yep. Yeah.
Ew. Why they say? First of all, why are they saying Kanye's missing?
I mean, when he just went on that full tirade, I think people honestly were just nervous that
Yeah.
he went on that full tirade after.
But people are dumb. Cause if he was genuinely missing, come on, cause Kim and North did that TikTok where North dressed up as him, and it was like, why they make a TikTok when Kanye's missing? I'm like, are you dumb? Like, if the father of her kids were actually missing, don't you think she would put out? There would be a missing report. They would have been a whole thing, right? They would have made it a big deal. He's not missing. Like, people are so dramatic and slow. Don't use freaking their brain. Like, come on. If he was missing, you think that they would just be making TikToks?
Yeah.
No. But they mean he resurfaced though. Where is he at?
Said he was unable to find him. His business manager was unable to find him for the last several weeks. Let's see.
Okay, he's getting server lawsuits.
Yeah.
You think that's why he's missing? He don't want them lawsuits.
Yeah, to see him at church. Yeah, I mean, he's just probably just laying low.
Yeah, it's like people are
or just living a normal person's life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. What else happened this month? I really don't got nothing.
I know. Where are we at? 30 minutes?
Yeah, we had 30 minutes of just the Kai thing.
We said we was going to talk about relationships.
We can talk about relationships. I get so tired of the relationship talks, though, because when you go on TikTok, it's like, bro, TikTok is like draining me. Because it's the same thing. It's like you swipe.
Well, that's what you just got to customize your For You page. Like my whole For You. But that's the only thing is, once you watch a certain video, that's all they show you. So, and then you end up getting tired of stuff. But even for me, I'm starting to get tired of the fashion TikToks because all I see is fashion TikToks.
I'm glad that's never come across my screen. But even stuff that, it's because I don't interact with anything.
Yeah.
But I prefer
that. But you don't have to really interact. Sometimes with TikToks, you can just watch it and scroll through the comments and they'll just already.
No, that's what I mean. Interest, I don't even really do that. Like, I just kind of like, I don't like anything. I don't watch anything over a certain time because then I know it's gonna just show up on my page. So my feed is usually very random, but it's so exhausting. Like, what's your body count? Should men do this in a relationship?
Yeah,
we're breaking up with all men that don't pay all the bills. Yeah. It's like after a certain point, it's like TikTok becomes draining.
Women are like turning psychopaths too. Like, I don't get how they don't feel crazy and like weird, like constantly talking about that stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's your whole personality. Like you say you don't care about men, you don't like men, but your whole personality. There's this girl I follow on Twitter, and all she talks about is men this, men that. I don't want a man like this. I don't want a man like that. I'm like, you talk about men a lot. Like for somebody who'd be like, I don't care about men, you talk about them a lot. Like every tweet, you know.
Yeah.
A little weird.
And then when TikTok tries to force feed me content, I'm like, bro, I don't want to watch this. Like I don't want to watch this. But anyway, if you want to talk about relationships, what do you want to talk about specifically?
We're not talking about ours.
You said we're not talking about ours?
I'm just kidding. That was originally why we said we was going to do it.
We can talk about ours.
But I don't want to expose us.
I don't even know. What about relationships?
Yeah, I just remember last month we said because we thought we was going to film the pod like weeks ago. And we're going to talk about relationships. Because we had our whole relationship intervention in the month of December.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What is it?
Yeah, right. What does it even talk about?
What is there to talk about? I mean, it would be good if there's. One thing I do like though about the Twitch streams is that sometimes they'll ask streamers like because they're young kids. Yeah, like they're young kids, so they're genuinely interested in like how do you navigate this world. When
I mean, if we were brutally honest about everything, I feel like we could give a lot of people good advice on relationships, but but then again, it opens you to a world of a lot of like judgment. People, oh, you guys are stupid.
But the thing is,
this type of relationship,
you could give advice without
exposing.
Yeah.
But not really though. If you give me advice for something, they'd be like, "Oh, okay, they went through that."
Maybe.
Yeah, how you gonna give advice for something you didn't go through?
Well, I think therapists do that all the time.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
I would certainly hope your therapist isn't going through every single scenario they give advice on.
Yeah. That is a good point.
No, it's a fantastic point. That's why, low key, I'd be feeling like therapy is like.
Well, I was watching that show Ginny in Georgia, and the girls in therapy, and like it kind of gives you an insight into what therapy actually looks like. They're not really giving you really advice. Like I think people think that like technically therapists aren't supposed to give you.
They're not life coaches.
They just ask you. They just try to get you to really expose how you feel. Like in the episode, she was like, "Oh, okay, we're gonna this is usually every therapy session. We're gonna start with your childhood." Then the girl talks about her childhood. It's like she just telling a story. And then she'll say something that, that happened, and then the therapist was like, well, when that happened, how did that make you feel? And then you really think about, well, it actually made me feel kind of sad. And she was like, and then you just get into the deep issues and stuff. Like, that's really all it is. So therapy is not really like they're giving you advice. They're just trying to get you to, like, break down your thoughts and feelings and what triggers you. what your triggers are.
While I do think that therapy is can't really be a negative thing, I think the only negative part about it is that sometimes it might open up something that was so deeply buried that like it was okay where it was, where you weren't even thinking about it, but now you're thinking about it. I feel like it could like ruin you. But in general, I think it's like it can't harm you, but I don't necessarily see the benefit, especially if you know why you feel the way you feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's true. I mean, I don't think I heard you to try it, and if you feel like, okay, this is not for me, like I don't need this. Like he said everything I already felt, or he said everything I already felt. Like, but then again, sometimes you might realize, like, oh wow, like I didn't realize that.
Yeah. It's just being.
I would do it.
It's just being honest with yourself. I think that people need it because people just aren't honest.
I think a lot of people aren't
themselves.
honest with themselves. I'm honest with myself. That's why I feel like I don't really need it, but I would do it just to see. But I don't think I really need it. 'Cause I think I'm honest with myself.
Yeah, I'm brutally honest with myself. Like
Yeah.
about everything, my faults, and that's the number one thing. People will always be brutally honest about the way they feel about other people, but never about themselves.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm honest with myself, and you know, it sucks sometimes being so honest with yourself because it's like, damn, like do better.
Yeah.
But that's what you gotta do. Then do better.
Yeah. That's why I think I don't need it, but I do want to try it. But yeah, I'm like really honest with myself. Like I'll be like, yeah, I'm like this. I'm this type of person. I'm kind of weird. Like I think I look for as therapy as like a clarity for the why about things though, because it's like sometimes I don't know why I'm a certain way still. Like
Then you should go then, because I definitely anything that I have an issue with or like my crazy thoughts, I know I could pinpoint exactly why. Like it could be some random scenario that happened to me when I was 7 years old that has impacted me till now.
well, yeah, I'm like that for the most part, but there's some stuff I still don't understand why. Like why, like you've seen this with me. Like why I get so much anxiety sometimes, like sending messages, text messages. Like
Because you fear judgment.
yeah, but why? Why do I fear judgment?
I think
My
everybody.
childhood.
I think everybody fears judgment. Why does everybody fear judgment?
But it's
Because
like
everybody
what's
wants to be
the
accepted.
but it's like what's the judgment that you're fearing? Like when I like, especially 'cause, like for me, like I said, like you've seen so many times since you know me where I have like a message, I'm like, oh my god, this is so cringe, and then I click send and like throw my phone. Like why is it cringe?
I don't know. That's what I ask.
I know, but that's why I want to know like why I'm like that. It's like not that.
Because
deep.
you're afraid.
But what am I afraid of?
That's what I be asking. You don't even know what you're afraid of.
Yeah, that's why I need
You
to
afraid. You afraid of that judgment. You afraid of expressing yourself and somebody having to receive the way you're feeling. Right? Because
Why? Because my home life can be telling my parents how I felt and them not listening.
that could potentially be it. But it's also just the awkwardness, the general awkwardness of expressing your
But
feelings.
some people
towards
don't feel that awkwardness.
I don't.
Yeah, and I hate that. Like, why do I like that? I don't want to be like that. Like, some people don't feel that awkwardness. They're just very chill and they're very open book. They just live life like it's nothing, because it is nothing. Like, all this is fake.
Because you haven't got to the point where you don't care.
You're right.
But you know, I've increasingly not cared over the years because I used to really care. Like when I was on social media so heavily and so prevalently, it's because I cared. Like I wanted to be accepted. I wanted people to think I was cool because I had some X amount of followers, or I wanted to post certain pictures so people thought I was fly. Like I cared, and I'm now obviously you see deleted Facebook, Twitter, still have Instagram, but never really used Tumblr. Like any of those social medias I never really use because I don't care anymore. It's not about me caring about how other people receive me, because realistically at the end of the day, if a random follower on Instagram feels a certain way about me, it's not impacting my life at all. Like my money is going to be the same no matter what, because I don't live on social media. Maybe
Well, see, I don't care about the randoms either. It's really just people. That
no,
I
no,
know.
but even them, even people we know, like if somebody we know that is even a friend, like do I really care at the end of the day? It's like kind of not really, right? Because maybe you would miss that friendship. Okay. But is it going to impact your life that differently if they're gone? Because anybody I felt that way where I'm like, this person's amazing, I need them in my life. When they were gone, didn't feel the same way. And maybe I'm just psycho in that sense. And maybe I need to go to therapy for why I'm so quick to drop people
Yeah.
and not care. But it hasn't impacted my life. If anything, the less I care, the more I become like successful.
Yeah.
And the less I waste my time doing other things, being caught up with the wrong things, like spending money, trying to impress people, like all that kind of stuff kind of went by the wayside.
That's why it's always funny to me, because like people like I feel a lot of people don't have money, and one of the reasons is just because they have like this obsession with having like people around all the time.
Yeah, and I
Like,
don't
you know how
care.
much money you save when you like don't have a huge social life.
Bro, even if you had a ton of money,
Like people go out to eat all the time with their friends every week. I'm like, and then they're like, oh my god, you going to Dubai? I was like, yeah. Like I only have like two friends. Like, what do you think? And
even,
I don't even barely even see them because one has two kids and the other, we're kind of having some distance. And we're like, so
even if you had money, because it's not even necessarily about a money thing, it's just in general, because even if you have money, the more you have that entourage, the more, I hate to be that person, like, antisocial, promoting anti-socialism,
yeah,
because it can work. You can have a ton of people that are great and they all do something for you, and you can be successful with those people. But in general, because people have their own agendas, and uh, people acting, everybody's gonna always act in their own crazy manner. Because of that, the more people you have around you, the more susceptible you are to something crazy happening.
yeah,
Same with family. Like, the more family you have around, yeah, it might sound great, the whole concept of having all these people that you feel are supportive around you, but realistically, family's going to be the most abusive group of people you're ever going to come across.
those are gonna be the people that make you feel the worst mentally,
I'm not talking about
physically,
my
emotionally.
family,
Yeah, no,
but
no,
just in
yeah,
general.
yeah, because like you've seen like examples of that, like I was, like a lot of shows, like that's like the thing, like it'll be, even like the in-laws, like they'll be judgmental of like the wife or the husband, and it's just like judgment, shadiness, like not really supportive.
Mm-hmm. Trying to push their own agenda and their beliefs on you, and if you don't do whatever they feel like you should be doing, then they make you feel like you're the worst
Yeah.
person in the world,
Yep.
even if you're successful.
Yep.
Like, people saying simple little things like, "Oh, you still do that little XYZ."
Yeah, I hate the word little. Like it's like what, like
What that mean?
yeah,
That little what?
like why are you trying to be judgmental? Weird.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely, I think therapy is very beneficial for people that need to unlock that. But that's, I'll try it, because, don't knock it until you try it. It would be interesting to see if somebody that's, done this as a living, and they're certified and they have all the credentials.
Yeah, that's what I think. I just want to really see like how people who were like they went to school for this, like how what they let me like I gotta see for myself. Like let me see if these people might be able to tap into something that I don't know about.
Yeah, they would say the same thing. I know for a fact. Because I would tell them, I'm like, this is how I feel. That's why I almost feel awkward, I guess, because I would walk in there saying,
Yeah, like
this is how I feel, and this is the reason why I
and
feel
they'd be
this
like,
way.
well, okay.
All right, well, thanks for your $200.
Yeah, but that's why for me, I would do like a year worth, maybe a year or 6 months. I don't know how long like they recommend sessions, but
Let's do relationship questions.
okay.
Yeah, let's address what the hard parts about relationships are, and then we could talk about how we deal with them.
Okay.
Okay, so this is from Yahoo News. This is gonna be the 7 hardest parts of being in a relationship and how to overcome them. This was written in 2022 by Olivia Petter.
What's going on with your team?
So, number 1, mutual respect. Do you feel like we had any difficulty with mutual respect? 100%.
At one point.
No,
Not anymore.
100%. We
Yeah.
definitely had a lot of issues with mutual respect.
Yeah, I don't think we fully respected each other at all.
I even told you once I didn't respect you.
Huh?
I even told you once I didn't respect you on
I think
Twitter.
so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that was nuts.
You said it on Twitter.
That was on Twitter.
You mentioned me?
Because we were, yeah, I did. I added you. Because I think we were subtweeting back and forth. And then
That's so embarrassing.
you added me, or you tweeted something about, like, respect or something like that, like, whatever. And then you were like, you don't even respect me. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I don't respect you. Then you said something back. And then I was like, text me. And obviously we worked it out.
I kind of remember that.
Yeah. But
embarrassing. Yeah. I wonder if I delete these tweets.
Mutual respect. I think I'll speak from my perspective, and maybe you could speak for yours. I think the way I got better with, being respectful over the years is the obvious thing of, like, put yourself in that person's shoes.
Yeah.
And how would you receive them doing the same thing to you?
Because that's the thing. People always say put yourself in somebody's shoes, but I feel like no one actually does it. But then when you actually do it, you're like, oh.
Right. Like,
yeah.
How would I have felt if you said you didn't respect me publicly? Like,
Yeah.
if I probably wouldn't have received that well. So I think that whole treat people how the way you want to be treated, even though it's like kind of cliche and like a
Like it
just
has facts to it.
that it's like the most. I swear, if you if you always put yourself in that scenario, like it'll help you navigate that part so much better. Like if I did this action, if that person did that action to me, how would I feel? And that's how I felt like I had to develop that level of respect. Like certain things that you say, the things that you do, the jokes you make, the acts of like kindness or all that kind of stuff. If you look at it from the other person's perspective, that to me is the number one way to develop that respect. And you would hope the other person does the same because again, this is mutual respect. So the other person has to do the same thing. So I think if both people are doing that and have that mentality of like, you know,
Yeah.
I shouldn't say this or why am I doing this to this person? Like if they were doing this to me right now, how would I feel? If they said this, how would I feel? And
Yeah.
that's how I feel like we've grown in that sense.
Yeah, maybe that's just because we were like young, so we didn't really do
And that's
that.
the other thing.
But,
Like we've grown up together.
yeah,
So
but back then, obviously, we
it
were
was nuts. It was
very
horrible.
immature.
Yeah, our relationship was horrible for
Like 3 years.
4 years.
I would say like 3. Yeah, like 3.
And just as a
I
side,
think by senior year we got it right.
I don't know.
Spring semester.
I don't know if this is in the rest of the and that's another thing. Like I don't know if it's in the rest of this list, but for anybody for like advice on navigating a college relationship, like it's brutal because
I don't think most people could actually survive it. Like, I mean, I think you can because some people are not like they didn't probably weren't as immature as us going through it.
yeah, some people are more chill. Like we were going crazy.
Yeah.
Like we were doing a lot. Like it was extra. So I don't want to put that on everybody.
And our
But
scenarios were unique to us. Like, I think people have similar scenarios, but obviously there's a lot of different unique scenarios that a lot of people might not have experienced.
yeah, so for anybody out there watching, if you're trying to navigate or you know you're in a relationship going in high school, going into college, it's tough. Like I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's as tough as you make it though.
Yeah, it is because it could have not been tough at all. Like a lot of stuff was real simple.
Right. Most of it was simple,
Like
but the
real
problem
simple.
was people deal with their egos. You're growing as a person. You don't really know what you want.
Everything's new.
There's so much temptation around the campus, and there's too many people, too many influences around.
Too many voices.
You're
Oh, yeah.
probably drinking a lot more alcohol. And
Yeah, that's the thing too. I don't think people talk about that. With college relationships, alcohol is a huge
probably
factor.
the number one issue.
And the thing is too, like back then you're young, so you're especially with someone like me who didn't drink in high school, tolerance is like non-existent. So
Right.
like
And
I
don't
had to take a shot and I was ready wanting to fight and starting stuff.
right, and don't do drugs. But if you're doing that too, then that's gonna make it worse. Like it's really difficult to navigate a relationship successfully through college without dealing with a whole bunch of like crazy shit. Like that's just the fact of the matter. Especially if you're trying to be with this person for all of college, it's not gonna be perfect. It's not gonna be, and obviously there's special cases, but you know for the most part, it's not gonna be perfect. We're gonna hold hands, walk through campus, be college sweethearts, and get married and tell our kids how we graduated together. I'm not putting that on anybody, saying that like it can't happen, but for the most part, just understand that there's a lot of influences and crazy shit. Like it's not high school. High school, y'all still packing lunches and like you got to bring pencils to class. Like like it's completely different ball game from college. So mutual respect definitely important.
Yeah.
Number 2,
Because I respect people.
we kind of touched this on this a little bit, but defining the relationship, like that's a hard conversation for people to have. Is like what are we conversation?
Yeah, and that's what I like. Like I keep bringing up Ginny and Georgia because that show's back on now. But that's like literally what happened in the episode. I didn't really like that, like because like they were laying in bed and like Abby kept asking him, and I'm like, oh, are you guys dating and stuff? And you could tell the guy was like kind of awkward, but then she literally said it like they were at the party. She said, well, what are we? Like we don't have a name. And then he asked her, I'm like, why she even had to say that?
Yeah, defining a relationship is important. Like that whole "what are we" conversation, which women usually ask, it is important because
I mean, at least she asked. That's the thing. At least ask.
on either scenario, right? Because men could say the same thing. It's important because you need to know what this is. Because if
Yeah.
it's just going to be some physical thing, or we're just friends with benefits, or whatever it is, or this is committed relationship, all of that should be spoken. And I know most people don't do it because it's awkward,
Yeah.
but it's really not.
Yeah.
Things are only awkward if you make them awkward.
Yeah.
But it's important because if this person's thinking this is just something casual and this other person is trying to marry you,
Yeah,
like that's
bad. That's two different mindsets.
two completely different mindsets. So the person that's like thinking this is casual, their actions are gonna look like they're casual. They're gonna probably be messing with other people, doing all this other stuff, and this person's gonna be heartbroken. So definitely defining the relationship. Like, what do we want out of this? Because not all dating is to marry.
Yeah.
It's not.
Like some people just want to have fun, like for the time period. Some people just want,
like
have somebody as college, like, oh, okay, at least like you're my person. I'm gonna end night with probably like that. That would be that.
Yeah. So yeah, defining it. We never had a problem with that though.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know if it was maybe just me being young and never being in a relationship, but I just like the whole time, like it's like we never really. I don't know. From my knowledge, I can't really remember if we had any talks, but I think that like. I don't know. I just felt like it was going in that direction. I just felt like we were in that talking stage. Like it felt like talking to me. Like I feel like we didn't even have to even define that we were in a talking stage. It just felt like that. And I feel like at one point I was kind of like, all right, when is he gonna ask me? And I did feel like it was gonna be New Year's, and then it was 5 days later.
4.
So for anybody watching,
4.
We just celebrated our 8 years.
4 days later.
On the 5th, yeah, 4 days.
Yeah.
On the January 5th. Yeah.
So we never had a problem in defining that, even though we knew what it was. And maybe that's not the best.
I think eventually, though, if you didn't ask me, I probably would have been like,
yeah, all right, what are we doing here?
Cause, like, but I just had a feeling you were going to. I don't know why.
But if anybody has that, like, what are we doing here? You should ask, because communication is extremely critical to anything. And that's what actually the next thing is lack of communication. Mm-hmm. If I had to say there was one issue with our whole relationship, was communication. And I know my role in that was significant.
Which is weird though, because I feel like we communicated, but we didn't communicate probably the things we should have been communicating.
Yeah, we didn't say the things that we should have been saying. We talked. We
talked a lot though. Like,
yelled.
Anytime there were issues, we always had a conversation and talked.
Yeah, for sure. But things that were said in that weren't helpful. It wasn't progressive. It was just talking, just chatting, basically. Not really communicating effectively. Like, that's the other thing. Communication doesn't mean just talking. It's talking with a purpose.
Yeah.
Explaining very specific things. Why do you feel this way? Like, how do we fix this? Like, very detailed. It almost is like being in a relationship sometimes is almost like doing like a business deal or something, like where it sounds so formal.
Yeah, but we should have had like a list of like.
Yeah, but being formal.
This.
People can say whatever they want, but being formal is super important, because it will ease your mind with so many different things.
Yeah.
If you have a specific issue, like, write it out. This is my issue. Let's address this, and you go point by point, and it'll help you so much. So lack of communication for sure. Like, on my end, I would be going through something, not say anything, just be mad for no reason. Like, not even necessarily anything to do with you, but just would be mad for no reason, or going through something, or you might have done something and I just try to internalize it, but maybe I didn't internalize it well, so it's coming out as me being angry. All that stuff is stupid. It's like you're hurting yourself. Like, there's no benefit to that.
Yeah. And that's why, like, I feel like too many people work on emotion, and like it's like you just get that loud, yelling, chaotic, like screaming at each other. Like it's like it could have been so simple. Like humans are just so extra, right?
People
like,
screaming at each other is crazy.
We used to.
I know we used to do that, but like I was 19.
I know, but like looking back, it's so cringe. Everything could have easily been solved.
Yeah. Any issue could definitely be solved by just speaking. Number 4, carving out one-on-one time. I don't think we ever had an issue. We've been on top of each other basically forever.
I know, and I think that's kind of actually why like a lot of our issues kind of with like other people came up sophomore year of college, because like I feel like freshman year we had a lot of one-on-one time, but not really. Like we hung out a lot like in groups, you know.
Yeah.
But I think once our relationship started to shift, like, you know, we just moved through our first summer together, like we were just focusing on us. People was getting mad, like
yeah, because we weren't around.
Yeah, and they thinking like, you know, not like looking back, I wish I could explain that to like everybody. It's like, come on, like, yeah, there has to be a balance, but like you can't be mad at me and him do our own thing. Like at the end of the day, yeah, we're all friends, but this is my boyfriend. Like, are you crazy? And
also, yeah, that's the thing. When you're in that relationship, or you're just in college in general, you're there for the future. You're not there for like. I mean, friends are important.
Yeah,
of course,
friends are important, but like this might be somebody who's like I'm married. Like, are you mad that we're hanging out without you?
The most important decision is always going to come down to who you choose as your spouse.
Yeah,
because that determines your kids. That determines your legacy. Your
that's
future.
Literally your life, like your life is revolving on your family at one point.
Yeah, like if I become God forbid, I become paraplegic or something, it's like, you're gonna be there to help me out, or like, no.
Yeah.
Like, so it is important, and most.
Yeah, and people should have understood that. Like, I know we're all friends, but
And it
it's
sounds
like
dramatic.
yeah, it sounds dramatic. It's like, I know we're all friends, but like, you know, you gotta let the people who are in a relationship have their own time away.
It sounds
and
dramatic
build
till
their
it ain't.
relationship.
Because all those people that were complaining,
Yeah.
you see their relationship status.
Yeah. I haven't seen nobody
Anyway,
doing anything major that I'm looking up to.
anyway, everybody just gain weight and just be complaining how they're broke.
Literally.
Anyway,
Literally.
physical intimacy is
And what are we doing? We're still together and
doing this
successful.
Yeah, doing this dumbass podcast. Physical intimacy is number 5. Yeah.
What were you going to say about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move right along. Nah, but for
I
real.
mean, I just feel like a lot of people don't like that is important. Cause I kind of had that conversation. I mean, this is more so like I feel like when you get older, I don't think young people have an issue with physical intimacy. I think it's when you get older and have kids and
Yeah, I see what you mean. But
yeah,
I will say this. From both sides, and you can interject, of course, if you want. For men going or watching this, for physical intimacy, you gotta understand, like, it's more than just you, right? So, like, if you're, obviously, sex feels great, but it's more than just the way you feel about it that matters. So when you're doing physical intimacy, and I've seen women complain about this, and I could completely understand, where they were saying, like, they felt like at first it was great, and then eventually the switch turned on in the guy where he's just like demon like mode, like just tossing her around the room and stuff like that. And some women like that, but at the same time, like, you gotta understand that's not always the timing. Like, every guy basically gets hyped up on porn, and they're on Instagram, and they're swiping and G-strings all over the place. So on a daily basis, men are just hyped up anyway on that, and then they have a girlfriend, and then they treat her the same way. And I guess that's okay, but at a certain point, it's like, you got to understand that the physical intimacy part is more than that, right? Like, even just simply cuddling without trying to put it in her, like, that's important.
like that's what I think people like don't even realize. Like, yeah, physical intimacy doesn't just mean like going crazy.
It means
night.
a hug. It
Yeah.
means how are you doing?
Yeah.
With an embrace or holding hands, all that kind of stuff. It's more than just trying to put her through a wall because you feeling away.
But when you're young, I feel like, I mean, then again, being young, that's not an excuse. Cause I feel like we were never like that, even with being young. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna say this on here, but like, even our first, I guess, physical act was more so you focusing on me. I'll say that. Can you stop? I'm just saying, cause like a lot of guys. I mean, then again, circumstances were different because of me, but a lot of people, like, they would just wild out, like.
You thought I was feeling you? You didn't lunch. I didn't do what I want.
It wasn't lunch. It was dinner. Well, no, it was like afternoon time. It was
brunch.
It wasn't brunch. It was.
It was brunch.
No, it was at the
brunch.
track practice. And the farmer track practice.
Physical intimacy definitely important, and from the women's side, women also do have to understand. Yeah, men of course are more heightened on testosterone, but estrogen causes those same feelings too. But women should understand as well that men are men, and our whole aura and energy is to go and divide and conquer. So we have certain needs and urges. So women shouldn't also downplay the importance of that stuff as well. So I know sex isn't everything. And of course we just said physical intimacy is more than just sex, but when it comes to that, women shouldn't downplay it and say it's not important, because it is. In my opinion, it keeps the rhythm of, like, I don't know how to explain it.
That thing even says.
What does it say? Oh yeah, produces oxytocin, the love hormone, which builds trust and brings a couple closer together.
Yeah. It's like, I don't get it. Like, you know, and then
do you even like the person physically?
Yeah, and like I get, like, sometimes there might be a blip in a relationship where a woman might be something feels off. Yeah, you know, he should support you for that. But it's like the type of way women on Twitter, like, complaining almost like, I don't owe him that. My mom. It's like, and then they be shocked when they get cheated. Sorry.
Number 6, compromise. Compromise is very important. You're not going to always get what you want in any scenario.
Yeah.
Just in life in general, you're not going to always get what you want.
That's
so
the thing. You shouldn't be in a
that.
relationship if you want everything to go your way.
Yeah, if you want to be selfish, then just be by yourself.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to just do whatever you want. Nobody
Yeah.
asked you to be in this relationship. And if they did, you can still say no.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, yeah, compromise. You're not going to be able to get whatever you want in life in general. We all want more money. We always want better cars and everything like that. But you can't
And a
get
lot
those
of people
things.
don't know how to compromise.
Yeah, compromise. Like,
And compromise doesn't mean like take away like do something that's like against you, like what you love, you know, your morals. Doesn't mean like that. If you feel like that, then you shouldn't be in a relationship with that person.
yeah,
But compromise simply just means like you can't always be where you want to go, like eat maybe, or where you want to go out
yeah,
for
like
the weekend, or
we're gonna go see my family this weekend or something like that. Like you
Yeah.
do have to make those. It sucks sometimes, of course, but sometimes you still have to. Not even sometimes. You 100% have to do those things because that's what it's all about. It's a partnership. It's not whatever I want to do. Show like
Yeah.
that's stupid. If you want that,
then
then
be single.
just go get friends with benefits and
Yeah.
go do whatever you
Or
want.
just
Then.
be single. Yeah. Or yeah.
Yeah, just whatever. Compromise is
Or
heavily
be a sugar
important.
baby.
And I don't know if we ever had any issues with compromising.
I don't think so.
Nah.
I feel like we always came up to some type of compromise with anything.
Yeah, to go back, just to make sure I got it. Carving out the one-on-one time, we never had an issue. In physical intimacy, we definitely never had an issue. Compromise, yeah, no issues. Disagreements kind of goes with the communication thing. Communication is really the root of everything.
Yeah.
Disagreements, I'll say from my perspective, because we already kind of broke down the communication, like saying what the issue is, like where are we not aligning, bless you, with our two perspectives. All that again comes down to just communication. When it comes to disagreements specifically, I will say one word of advice for men is that, you know, usually this ends up resulting in men getting walked over. So, you know, do what you want with that. But what has helped me and worked for me is that sometimes the losing the battle isn't worth it. So if you truly do feel like you're right and it's just not going anywhere, sometimes it's better to just take the L, especially if you don't care and it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's better to just take the L and keep it pushing. Versus,
Yeah.
I know what you're about to say.
You know how I feel. I just
yeah.
feel like nobody should have to just take the L.
I agree, but you know sometimes it's not worth the headache because what ends up happening, or could potentially happen, and what I've seen happen even in our relationship, is that when you keep pushing it, trying to prove your point, sometimes it results in something worse than what the disagreement.
I mean, I
actually
think it
is.
goes for both ways. Though I think women can take the L sometimes too.
No, for sure. I didn't mean. I'm saying from
Okay.
from
Yeah,
my
yeah,
perspective.
yeah.
Yeah, everything goes both ways. But
Yeah.
I'm just speaking on what I've like my experience has been.
Yeah.
Sometimes, taking the L. Unfortunately, you might have to sometimes for your own mental health.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't do that all the time, and that shouldn't be your go-to. Is to just say okay, whatever, and then just leave and just
Yeah.
disappear. Like you should work things out, but sometimes just lose the battle, bro. Because sometimes it's really not worth it, especially if you don't care. But if it's something you really truly care about and you really feel like this person really needs to understand where you're coming from, then of course you keep pressing for it. But if
Yeah, because this agreement could be like off of just anything stupid.
yeah, but if it's like what are we eating tonight, or what forks are we buying, like you know you don't care about the forks.
Yeah.
Like you know the chicken is gonna taste the same at all 16 of these restaurants. So that type of debate and stuff like that is really not worth it.
And it was interesting though. I feel like me and you have never really had like disagreements. If that makes sense. Like I don't know, not that I could think of. Like I feel like we had arguments, but like have we had not agreed on anything?
Yeah, for sure.
But like what? Like I can't really think of like.
I
mean, obviously we have. It's sometimes hard to remember everything over a year.
Yeah, specific disagreements. To the point where it led to an argument.
I just mean like what have we disagreed on? Like realistically, I feel
we disagree on a lot.
I guess, yeah.
But that's the other thing. Disagreements doesn't mean anger or argument.
Because like I'm just thinking about like when we really used to argue a lot, like that was not necessarily disagreeing with things. That was just calling out things that we. I mean, I guess you disagreeing with, like, oh, you shouldn't have did this, or why are you doing this, or.
There's a few things. Most of the things I think of, I'm not gonna say on here, but we could disagree as something as minimal as like, I don't even know, like.
Like, why'd you?
I actually really don't know.
I mean, well, yeah. Now I think about it, we have disagreed a lot. Like that's because disagreement doesn't mean like, oh, we don't agree on where we should go out to eat. Like disagreements could just mean like you don't agree with the actions that your partner did.
Yeah, or something that they said or something like that.
Yeah.
But dealing with disagreements is just, again, the communication part. Like, explain why you disagree and explain your points, but being mature about it too is the other thing. Like,
Yeah, I think if honestly, if as a human, if you are able to calmly explain why you did what you did or said what you said, everything could be solved.
one thing additional that I'll say is that what helps is when you're explaining your points is to not go in explaining your points with the expectation of you winning something.
Yeah.
Because if you go in trying to win some mysterious award against the person that's
Yeah.
supposed to be your partner, it's not going to end well. You should explain why you feel the way you feel and then be open to your mind being changed.
Yeah.
Because, that's how communication works. It's speaking and listening actively. So that's the other part, because everybody always wants to be right. Like, oh, I feel this way, and that's
yeah,
it.
and that's it, because I'm right.
Yeah. Stupid.
It's like psychotic almost to want to be right about everything.
Yeah, disagreements have definitely been an issue in our relationship. But that ties back to the communication part, just not knowing how to speak effectively. But
because sometimes we end up agreeing on stuff. We just
took a way to get there. We didn't really understand what each other was saying. But that was definitely an issue in our relationship. But I can't think
of like a specific one.
I can't think of anything at this point where we have that kind of disagreement or issue. We normally we just be on the same page.
Yeah,
but the best way to be on the
really
same
anymore.
The best way to be on the same page is just to talk.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I think we should do this, and I'll say, maybe we should do this, and then we just kind of work it out, because that's technically a disagreement, but it's not like any hostility.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we still have like a little bit like things that we disagree on. Like I know how you kind of like sometimes you don't agree necessarily with certain things. Like you said, you don't really like going out to eat that much. But I like going out to eat. I'm gonna say that's disagreement. I would say that's different things that we like. Yeah,
preferences.
But then that's where the compromise thing comes in. It's like, is it something that you're willing to compromise? It's like, okay, I don't like going out to eat, but it's not like a deal breaker. Like it's not like morally, I'm going to break up with this girl because she likes to go out to restaurants. Like,
or just even your presence on social media, I disagree with, but
yeah,
that it's communicated, and then you're still going to do what you're going to do, and then that's the compromise, I guess.
It's not like you're going to break up with me for it, but you just don't like it.
I explained how I feel. That's the communication part. This is the reasons why I feel that way, and compromise is keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, it's like, all right, as long as you're not harming me, as long as you're not putting, personal information. Because I get that, like, especially if you have like an online presence and like you're posting up your apartment and you're posting up like, stuff like that could put you at danger as like my partner.
Even if it doesn't, it's just there's a whole. Imagine like there's a person, because that's my situation basically with you, is that there's a person stating these different things and basically speaking for me, and I'm not able.
And you're not able to speak for yourself.
And I'm not even aware, because I don't have Twitter, so I don't know what you tweet. You could be saying anything. Oh, my boyfriend said this, or you said this,
or just like how I used to. I don't really do much anymore, but like posting the screenshots. Like I actually never really agreed with that kind of like. I guess getting consent is fine, but like the posting the screenshots of like things people have said to you or stuff. Like I used to do that a lot. I don't do that as much anymore.
Yeah, I hated that.
Yeah,
but
I mean, unless it's like really personal, I would never do that.
But just in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a
list.
Yeah, that was a list. That was the 7 hardest parts of being in a relationship. So just in general, yeah, we've had a lot of issues. Like I'll be the first to admit, we had issues every day for a solid 3 years.
Not every day.
Every day.
Not every
There were some good parts, but
we had a lot of good days.
Nah, not really. Look, if you took 100 days, right? I think probably had about 5 good days and 95 bad days.
No, I think you have a bad perception on our.
I don't have a bad perception. I just think that the things that happened were nuts.
Yeah.
So, and you dealt with them over the course of a long period of time. So, one scenario could have dragged out for years.
Which one?
I'm just saying in general. Like there could have been a situation that lasted for a long time that made, even when you might have had a good moment, you were just ignoring what was really going on for that particular moment. So you could have been going through issues. You went out to a party, you had fun that night, but realistically, you're still dealing with that issue at the back end. That's true. And that's the way I perceive those things.
A lot of scenarios that we did go through, like
have lasted years.
Or like at least a whole school year. Like if you think about like our worst year, junior year, like the thing that happened literally in September lasted until May.
Yeah.
and which ended up what our summer was that summer. So it's just like, yeah. Like you said, yeah, I think I'm confusing like maybe having a good night or like a good afternoon or a good day with it being like all peaches and.
Which it definitely 100% wasn't. I know that for a fact. For
But
sure.
you have a better memory than me. That could be a trauma response that I like.
Oh, nah. Listen, my trauma response
Because
is
I look at,
remember.
like I said, when I was scrolling through our old messages, I'm like, what? Like, why was there a fight every day? It was like, my door's open, come to the room. We'll talk about this later. Talk about. I'm like, oh my god, how many times? I mean, like I said, at least we were talking. But
My trauma
still,
response is to remember everything because it helps me sleep at night.
my trauma response
It
is
helps me
forget it.
motivate me.
You.
Like if you see me in the gym just like zoning out, I just be in there thinking.
Thinking about what?
I just be thinking. I know I looked nuts last time I went to box. Like I was just sitting on this thing and I was just staring into space. Yeah.
Yeah,
Relationships are no fun. Don't get in a relationship, guys.
the thing is, they could be so easy too. That's the unfortunate part. Like,
Don't get in relationships.
if everybody was able to get in relationships when they were like mature, life would be so easy. Cause I feel like if things just didn't work out, then just end it. Or like if something was like wrong, just end it. You know, like I feel like things could have easily been done.
It's so simple too.
But it seems simple, but it's really not, because it's like you say that, but it's like you might really love somebody. Like that's the hard part about feelings, is that you could really love somebody, but then still have other like conflicting weird stuff going on with you, and it's just like,
If you love them, you gotta let them go. If you really love them, that's why we're together, because I don't love you like that.
right? It's not funny. It's not funny.
No, seriously, like there's 7 billion people in this world.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people. I know that it's tough because, you know, maybe you're just in a small hometown, so like your ability to branch out is limited.
Like what? My childhood?
No, not you. I'm just saying in general, like people, you know, because we lived in this. Well, I lived in a populous area, so if this person, I really want them, but we just not clicking. It wasn't very difficult to just go to I lived in a big city, so not city, but like I lived in a big town, so you're like, I guess your choices are more. But I could understand how somebody from a smaller city might really cling on to this person because that's really all they got.
Mm-hmm.
But even in those scenarios, it's way easier said than done. But bro, you just gotta leave, like, for men and women. Like,
Yeah.
dude, like don't harm yourself because it's a
The
waste of
thing
time.
that sucks.
You're gonna
too,
look back
our
and be like, I wasted
situation
my time.
was unique though, because we went to school together, and we literally lived like, even like, because some people go to big schools and they be living like opposite side of campuses. Like if you went to Rutgers, you gotta take a bus to get there. That's easy, I think, to detach yourself. But when you literally live like 50 feet from each other or like in the same building, come on. Like, it sounds good, it sounds easy, but it's like it's not. Like, you're the girl that like you know, or the guy that you love or still love is right upstairs. Like, you're gonna go upstairs unless something really bad
You
happens.
shouldn't.
Yeah, you shouldn't, but it's easier said than done. Can you stop? Don't do that laugh.
Sensational.
No. If I had advice for people, I would say not, unless somebody's really like, you have a really like
I hate
strong feeling towards them. I would say don't date until like junior year, senior year.
Yeah, I was about to say, bro.
And the
Don't.
funny thing is, I don't even remember freshman year. A lot of like our friends said that. Like, they're like, oh, I'm gonna relax junior year. I'm gonna chill. But who knows? Because if we had that mindset by junior year, we might have both been turned off by each other.
I would have hated you.
Why?
I know that's a strong word.
Why? I would have been chilling. I would have been chilling. I don't know about you, but I would have been chilling.
Yeah, I would have been gone. Honestly, I probably wouldn't even have lived in that building.
The thing about going to a smaller campus though is that I don't know if that really would have worked, because like you would have probably been with so many people who were like mutual friends at that point that I would have been ill, like off.
That's what
off
I'm saying.
limits, off limits.
That's
Like,
what I'm saying.
That would not have worked. If everybody, like a whole bunch of girls on campus, can now tell me, oh yeah, I was with Alex. Like, no, like I be thinking about that sometimes. Like when there was like conversations held like among friends and everybody's realizing they're like Eskimo siblings. And then it's like, that's somebody's future husband. Like, that's crazy.
Someone that might
Somebody's
be at the
future
wedding.
wife. Yeah, exactly. That's why it's like, no. No.
What else you want to talk about?
No. Don't get your head knocked out. I'm saying it's a good thing.
Wait, what did I do?
It's a good thing that, for our sake, that we met when we met. Because we went to a small school. That's why it's kind of interesting to me when I see people that like go back to dating people from high school. Like we graduated like 5 years ago. Like why is you going back to date people from high school? But it's like mad people at our school when there was only 1,400 people dated their man before. Like it's just kind of weird. So I didn't know Geno Smith was still playing. But yeah, I thought he was like old.
No.
But yeah, like that's like yeah and the thing is our school was small, but then you had the black population was even smaller. So it was like I know there's a lot of Eskimo siblings out there at the Montclair campus.
You know it got sick.
Yeah, just based off what we heard. Yeah. Oh, my head hurts.
Yeah, we got anything else? I don't know if we have really anything.
I know, right? We didn't really like.
Nothing
we
really.
kind of freeballed all this. I mean, nothing really has happened recently.
Freeballed.
Yeah.
Freestyle.
It's freestyle. Oh,
Freeball is crazy.
Nothing has really happened. That's like I think for like talk worthy. Like at least recent. Like we missed stuff that might have been worthy of mention, but not right now.
That works for me.
I mean, it could be a short first pod.
Short first pod back.
I told you I saw what's her name. Nancy Grace, her podcast will only be like 43 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour.
That's because Nancy getting money.
Yeah, she does get money. And she got mad different venues. Like that's why she probably did the podcast now. Because she already got her show. I think her special is tonight on the Idaho people. Yeah. Side note for anybody listening, the killer was found like 30 minutes from where I grew up. So
The killer's escaping.
Eastern Pennsylvania. I literally live in the last exit in New Jersey growing up. My like family like hung out and he went to DeSalle's. That's 5 minutes away from like the promenade shops at Saucon Valley where I used to go to White Orchids and have Thai food. Like I hate when crime like this is too close to home, but he's in jail right now in Idaho and hopefully he goes to jail.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah. Killing 4 people is crazy. You know, we talk about college and like I feel like I could relate to that. Like the girl, the couple, like that's crazy. Imagine you just with your girl or your boyfriend and you just ordering DoorDash after a night out to a frat house. Like that was like our typical college night. So stuff like this bothers me, and I don't like the fact that he was so close to us. You know, growing up right around the corner, basically for me.
Why is it so much grimier when women cheat?
Whoa, how did we go? 360, 180.
You know why? Because I was thinking.
Wait, you said why is it more grimy?
It seems so much more grimy. I don't know what it is, but like I've seen so many scenarios where like the woman will cheat like while she got pictures hung up of the guy like in the room.
Yeah, sick.
Very sick.
Like you had to put the thing down, the picture frame down. I mean, I feel like it is more grimy as a woman because women, I think, in society and in general, hold ourselves to such these high standards. Like women hold other women to high standards too. Like
it's all fake. Why? Like
yeah, it's like
fake
it is
perception?
fake
It's
because
so
it's like
fake.
you know the real. Like I can't even tell you like how many women I know that cheated. A lot.
All of them.
A lot.
You could say all of them.
Not all of them. I don't know if all girls that I've been cool with but we've seen it even with like
It gets
with our
insane,
mutual friends.
yo.
Like we've seen it.
It's crazy. I don't know. I was just thinking about that. I'm like,
it's just I feel like if people were more real about it, it wouldn't be so crazy. Because it's like it's just I feel like men are put on this like all men cheat, and it's like if women were just real about themselves, but like, come on. But the thing is, they'll make jokes about it. It'll be like slick stuff on like Twitter, like like I think Gabrielle Union somebody just came out and said that she cheated on her first husband because she paid like all the bills. And everybody like, yes, sis, I would did the same. It's like I feel like when girls do it, it's like they try to make it funny or cute.
men just do it because they're just horny. I think this is a difference.
Yeah, but it's probably the same for some women.
You know what the thing is? It's like
But then again, it shouldn't be the same for women because it's like if you have a boyfriend, like you know you can have sex whenever you want. I think for women it's just I don't know.
The confusing part is especially when it comes to college relationships specifically, like I know companionship exists, but realistically you're not getting anything out of your college relationship. Like you're not sharing bills, you don't have kids. Like okay, you have somebody you can cuddle with at night, but realistically you're not getting a lot out of college relationships. You're not. Like
yeah. I mean, you're getting companionship and you're getting
because you can all that like even a companionship, you get that from a friend, realistically. Like
Yeah,
all that
especially in
jokes
school.
and stuff like
You have
that, you're not
roommates that
getting.
you live with people. Like,
So it's like, why get in a relationship in college and cheat? You can just go do that freely
yeah.
and just be chilling.
But some people, I guess, they like to have that stable, grounded relationship. Or like sometimes you really do end up loving somebody and you still just mess up.
It's a great watch.
Visit AP.
You know, yeah.
I mean, the same goes for men though, because men do the same thing. Like you don't have to be in a relationship either.
I wasn't talking about women. I was just talking about in general.
Yeah. I mean,
No,
yeah.
I was just saying. I said you don't get anything out of a relationship.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think people just like to have that stable thing because, like, who wants to start over with somebody else? Like, yeah, you might be able to get that companionship with some of your friends, or like you might be able to get that physical stuff off with another guy or girl. But it's like when you end up like and I got to start over again, and go through that navigation of trying to learn somebody else. If you want that in another relationship, it's just like like you feel something. Some people really just do, they still feel that love and connection between somebody, and they just do stupid stuff. They mess up. They want a different experience. They want, or there's conflict in the relationship, and they just are over it and want to just escape that.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. That's why we would have to bring a psychologist on board and be like, what's the psychology of it? I mean, I think it's pretty clear cut. I think it's kind of weird, but it's like it's also has explanations.
Yeah, women are insane.
No, but women do are more kind of like grimy.
I know,
because like you said, like it'll be like it'll be like that's my background on my phone. I mean, guys do that too though. They'll cheat and their girlfriend will be like the background.
No, for sure. I think the difference is that it's expected with men, but when women do it, I don't know. I feel like they put extra sauce on it. Like I feel like when men cheat is just like you. I don't think you're gonna go in a guy's phone and see like. I don't know. It's just less. Maybe it's just the way men and women communicate.
But what do you mean
differently.
there's more sauce?
I feel like women put more like. God, I'm gonna sound like a woman hater. But I feel like when women do anything, there's just more extraness to it. Like a guy could go on a vacation and never like Instagram story anything, right? But a woman's always gonna be phone in my face. Here's the outfit of the day. Like so, everything women do is just more exaggerated. So I feel like when men cheat, they're just like, yo, pull up, come over. Like that's grimy, of course, still. But I feel like women put so much more like extra, like I don't know.
Like, what do you mean though?
I don't even know how to explain it. Like I feel like it's more like.
But women are not usually the ones that like when guys cheat, they're the ones that usually are like pursuing. You know what I mean?
That's not true.
No, I feel like when guys cheat, they're the ones that usually pursue the woman. Like, oh, like.
That's not true.
You don't think?
No, honestly, but that's why it's crazy. That's why I say women are so grimy, because it's actually the opposite. Because guys can pursue it, but
I think they usually do though. Like they'll find a girl, they're in their DMs, and the girl, they'll be talking to the girl, don't even know he has a girlfriend. Like I feel like the guys are the ones that initiate conversation with a different girl, or hit up another girl, or tell the girl to pull up. Or
maybe that's not my experience.
What do you mean your experience?
Like I don't think that's usually the other way around. That's why I say it's actually interesting that women think that other women don't like press men.
No, they
They'd
do.
be all in the DMs.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so it's just.
But I feel like for women that's not common. Like I don't know.
Women to pursue.
Well, maybe it is.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like
because the women that I know that did it, I feel like they kind of pursued it, but not. I don't know. Maybe not all of them.
they'd be pursuing it. Think about it.
Not all of them.
All of them.
No, I think usually when that happens, the men it'll be because guys a lot of guys they don't care that a girl's in a relationship. A lot of guys I think are kind of weird for that, but
Women do the same thing.
I know women are
That's what I'm saying. They do it worse.
They're all weird.
Everybody's weird.
Everybody's weird. Because my whole thing with that is just like.
What do you think you're gaining out of this?
No, it's like somebody's in a relationship and like they're intimate with somebody else like literally simultaneously that you're intimate with them. Like that's kind of like weird to me. It's almost like that sloppy seconds type of weird shit. Like it's like I don't know. Like I know some people they don't think that deep of it about it, but I would think it's like, oh, you want to see what it's like you want to feel what it's like to be me, from both ways. Like as a man, it's like, oh, you want to feel like what it's like to be me.
And the guy be like, yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's weirdo. You're weird. Like I would just feel like disgusted. Like I don't know. But yeah, if women were more honest, the world would be a better place. Men should be more honest too, but it's like you said, it's expected with men, unfortunately. But if women were more honest about when they're in the wrong,
Careful.
Cause there's always but there's always so many excuses.
They try to get Tate out of here for saying that.
I know
that he said the world would be a better place if women had their body count like printed above their head. Well, I don't.
You know what's interesting though? Like, why do people get so offended when you bring a body count? Like, they be like, "Oh, it's not that serious. Who cares about it?"
Because they know
they be telling themselves.
Yeah, because they know it's a point of. As a woman, every single man that inserts himself into you, you become less valuable. So they know that they let a bunch of randoms from like one night stands.
And you know they regret it. That's why they be trying.
Yeah, from a house party in West Bumblefuck. Like, because they let that happen, they get angry that somebody's judging them for it.
Yeah, because if you're so proud of it, like then you be like, "Yo, yeah, my body count's like 40." Like
the difference is that men aren't seemed as being devalued by women. If anything, women value men that are more ran through.
And that's whose fault?
Women.
Ours.
Right.
Exactly. That's why it's like annoying. Because if we put value onto men having low body counts, then they might want lower body counts. I put value on that. I actually think that's like nasty. Like I hate that mindset that like girls will say that, "Oh, I want a man that's experienced," but like you could be experienced with one person. Like then I realized that like if you having sex with the same person multiple times, you're learning their body. That's make you more experienced than somebody who just jumps around. Mm-hmm. So I don't get that mindset. But yeah, like it's girls. If girls put value on men having a lower body count, then the men might not, you know.
Yeah, that's why they get so sensitive.
Yeah, they be getting so.
Why are you judging?
Especially when other girls like judge them.
Yeah.
Oh, pick me. What do you get out of coming at me? It's like that's just like morally. And this funny thing, these would be the same girls that be having Bible verses on their page, like go to church. Like you're not even aligning yourself with what you believe in. So why are you mad that I'm, oh no one should judge. But you're such as Christian that you present yourself to the world.
Oh man, if you want to find the easiest ones, definitely any Bible verses, anyone with tapestry in their rooms.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Oh, I'm so spiritual." It's like if you're so spiritual, then wouldn't you?
Anybody that talks about sage,
protect your inner spirit by not opening yourself to so many.
Anybody that talks about sage, anybody that talks about zodiac, live, laugh, love, anything like that oh my God, the live, laugh, love on the wall when you walk in is crazy.
Those be the nastiest
who else?
People.
Sororities for sure.
Well, sorority girls never really present themselves as holier than thou, classy. Depends on sorority.
They don't.
My sorority none of those. AKAs do.
Yeah, that's definitely the hand grouping. If you're trying to go and pick out any one of those that fit that criteria, but
yeah, I mean, yeah,
the church ones be the ones.
Yeah.
Because that's why they're in the church in the first place.
And I get it. Like, I get this whole side of, like, that's the thing. I get it. If you want to be sexually liberated and you don't care about any of that stuff, then be that. But then don't get mad or embarrassed when we're talking about that.
Yeah, if somebody's judging you.
Clearly you're not proud of it then.
Yeah, because you're getting butthurt over, no pun intended, over somebody calling you out for it.
Yeah, because, like they'd be regretting it. Because it's like, come on. Like, you gave this whack guy, like, you gave him access to that, like,
and he never talked to you after that.
Yeah.
That's got to be really painful. You probably don't even know who he is.
Yeah. That's sad.
That's crazy.
Sad.
You probably don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
He's just out there somewhere. He probably got, like, 4 kids at this
And lots of times, and they probably forget, too. You probably were so forgettable among all the people that he been with. Yeah. And that's all you'll ever be known as, too. To him and his friend group and all, that's sad. But teach your own. If you don't think it's sad, then live with that. Don't be embarrassed when we having a conversation about it. Don't be mad when we having a conversation about it. That's all.
Yeah, for sure.
Live in your truth.
Live in your truth. They begin so tight. It's so funny.
I know. And
it's
one
okay.
Time I saw it was like a recent thread. It was like an older woman too. You could tell she was like in her 40s. I'm like,
oh God.
She was probably ran
my
through.
Goodness.
Ran
What you think? 30? 25?
Probably more than that. Probably 30. It's crazy. I only know like personally, like 3 people who body count is probably over 20. 3 people, I would say. I could say wholeheartedly their body count is definitely over 20. And that's kind of crazy. That's 3 people.
You would think it's crazy, but low key,
And that's what I'm saying. There could be
it's not
a
that
lot of other
difficult.
people in my like who I've been cool with or in my circle. There might be just be outside it and they keep it on the DL. But girls really like to share all that stuff. But for sure, and that's that's for people who they got those numbers before they were 30 years old, like in their early 20s.
Right.
So,
God forbid you're still single when you're 40. And oh my God, once you get divorced.
yeah, now your number is probably up there. Like
If you're divorced and you're like 40, 50, what you think's happening? Y'all grown at that point. There's no excuses.
Yeah.
There's no more hang-ups of, I don't know. I want to make sure. No.
I don't know. Like, I get the whole sexual liberation thing, but for me personally, like I just would feel. I just don't. It just makes me feel disgusted. Like I don't know. I hate to be judge people, but that's just how I am. Like everybody could live their own life. There's billions of people in this world, but me personally, I just would feel so like, yo, like I'd rather people imagine. I like having that like power. Like I'd rather somebody imagine than to actually know. You know?
Yeah, I cannot.
Especially if you're not even like getting nothing out of it too. It's like that man literally just used you, pumped and dumped.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up after that. Thank you guys for watching. This has been.
But then girls be like, I used him too. I got
podcast.
what I got out of it.
Not
Like,
yet.
it's like okay, like women are not even like that type of people. Like we don't.
Most are. The ones that are like that end up being porn stars.
Yeah, like I just like scientifically we're not that. Like scientifically, men their whole purpose is to reproduce. So their goal is to get whatever pregnant. Women, we just get pregnant once, like every 9 months. You know, it's like I don't think it was meant for us to procreate with all these different people because physically you can't. You're pregnant for 9 months at a time, and you only can get pregnant by one person.
Somehow we looped ourselves into this dumbass body count conversation.
I know,
But it is.
People get mad when you talk about this stuff. Like, 'cause there's two extremes. There's people who don't care and people who care. And I don't care what people do. Like, I don't judge people. Like, I'm just saying, me personally, I
got two things.
do that.
2 things on this, and we're gonna wrap it. One is like we were just randomly having a conversation earlier about that Muslim woman. I wish I knew what podcast she was doing it on, but she was trying to explain the whole concept of sexual liberation does not mean to go and have sex with it, because this is applicable to women. It's not really like men aren't ever on that I'm so liberated brigade. It's women. Liberation does not mean go out and get 400 bodies and you're so sexually liberated and you can have your like tatas out on the beach, and like that's not sexual liberation. If anything, that's like what she was explaining is it's the opposite of it. Now you're allowing men to, it's basically reverse psychology.
Yeah.
Like that's what men want anyway.
You're literally giving them what they want.
And they're telling you, hey, this is what freedom looks like.
Yeah.
So then you do that and they're getting what they want. It's actually
Like
the
your
opposite.
titties are on the beach and you're like, but
Yeah.
now you have all these men that just can see it for free.
Right.
For free.
For free. And it's like reverse psychology. So now men are actually getting what they want, and you're doing what you perceive as being liberating.
Yeah.
Is actually playing directly into the wants and needs of men. So you're not really liberated. You're actually like enslaving yourself. If you do the opposite, then
Liberation is
controlling it.
Yeah, controlling it.
That's it.
But some girls will still say liberation for them is that.
Okay.
It's
enslavement, because everything you're doing, like the reason why you're posting certain pictures on Instagram, the reason why you move the way you move, the reason why you put on makeup, the reason why you do any of these things, is playing into men. So it's like you're just enslaving yourself basically. Like it's like the women that be like, all men do is objectify. It's like, well, you're making yourself objectifiable.
You make yourself an object, literally. You're posting yourself online, like
you don't have to have that cotton string up your butt, and then post it. But you're doing that to yourself, so you're really enslaving yourself. But it was an interesting take.
But see, girls get mad at that.
If you say, I know you can't control, it's like
because the thing is, that when you break everything down to the very basic level, like
everything's simple.
But people will get mad if you try to really ask. It's like, well, why do you twerk on Internet? It's like, okay, other girls might want to see me twerking, but it's like. But what is twerking anyway? Like it's like more of sexual nature. You're watching the butt move, and why do we like like seeing somebody's butt move? Because that's
tell us.
No, I'm saying like because that's like replicates what you see in bed. It's like if you break everything down to a basic level, it's like, come on.
Yeah, and the other take I had for this is people should stop doing those interviews on TikTok. Like the street interviews.
Yeah, I hate
just
those.
in general, all of them in general. People should stop doing that because
they're so
somebody's gonna clip it and use it in a different context than what you intended. digital footprint is forever. So
That's why whenever we go places and we see them on the street, run.
I'm cool. Yeah, I'm not answering any questions about anything.
Especially because like last time they like to come up to couples.
Right, they're gonna play into your agenda. They're gonna try to do some weird divide between you and your significant other for the clicks and views.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, she got so mad when he said this.
Yeah,
So,
like that video that's going viral that was at Montclair.
yeah,
That
like
was appealing.
So agenda, they're gonna try to play through your relationship. They're gonna try to make you say something crazy for the clicks. It's gonna make you look nuts because like certain women say crazy stuff up there, and it's like,
Yeah.
yo, this is gonna be somebody's queen one day,
Yeah.
and it's like, damn, that's tough. So even if
And that's the crazy part too.
Oh,
Like, sorry.
1 second, sorry. Even if you do believe those things, of course, believe them. But when you put it on, you know how they used to say, when you put it on wax, meaning like wax records, like music, when you put it on wax, you're subjecting yourself to the judgment forever because, you know, there's all these websites, right? Like you post it on TikTok, but it's going to be clipped and put on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be on these random dark web websites or like random like Indian Chinese websites with
Yeah.
crazy URLs that you've never seen before. Like I posted tweets that end up on like 17 other pages that have nothing to do with Twitter.
Yeah.
So that stuff
Like,
is forever. So
yeah.
people should stop answering any of those what's your body count questions, was this, was that, because it's going to come back at some point, like in the future. You never know when your boss might be scrolling and see
Yeah.
something. You never know when your mom might be scrolling and seeing something. So if you can't handle that, your significant other might see something. If you can't handle that,
Just keep
then
yourself.
yeah. Or like they doing the interviews, oh, do a 360 for me. Like,
Yeah.
can I get your number? All that type of stuff. Like a guy's going to feel a way about that and a woman's going to feel a way about that if they come across it. But that's all I got. Yeah. Got anything else for us today?
Mm-hmm.
Why you look like that?
What?
You want to say something?
No.
You about to shit on me?
No.
What'd I do?
No. I agree with everything you're saying. I was trying to think of something, but I don't have anything.
Cool. Thank you guys for watching. First episode
Next
back.
week
We'll
we'll-
be more prepared.
Yeah. We'll see what happens between now and next Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. Cool. This has been a Couple of Things podcast.
Yeah, we're back.
I don't know why we sat so far away from each other, but
Oh yeah, wait, yeah. I don't know why I was so far. I just realized that. I'm just so used to sitting in this crack on the couch. Yeah. Why was I way over there?
yeah, it looked like I was running away from you.
I guess because like we had to like look at each other. And sometimes like you can't really look at somebody when they're like right in your face. Like somebody had to actually like sit. And be, like,
We gotta get a new setup. Let me tell you, those
We're
mic,
getting a new setup
mic
eventually.
stand,
yeah,
top
I'm
tier,
gonna get that next.
so I don't have
week.
to like lean into it. It's
Yeah,
not,
'cause I hate having to do this.
it's
with
not
my
even
back.
fully extended. Like if I bring it here, like
Yeah.
I really don't have to move at all.
Yeah, like you probably could literally sit all the way back if you wanted to.
Yeah,
Does it extend even longer?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you really don't have to do nothing. I need it.
This mic stand was $100, y'all. Crazy. It's high quality though.
It's light.
It is super
I just
crispy.
spent $130 on Amazon for 4
Because look,
items.
it doesn't even have a counterweight, which is crazy. Because that one has a
Yeah.
big counterweight.
It's hefty.
But yeah, we'll see
I'm
y'all
gonna get my
next
mic
time.
stand next week. Even though from this angle, like it looks like it's not really much of a difference between our mic stands.
Yeah, but you have to sit all the way up. That's the thing.
Yeah,
You know,
no,
you
that-
know your
that-
back hurt.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, you
It
can
would-
talk. You can talk to mine.
No, see, I want to do like this.
You want to share a mic?
No,
Let's sing an acapella group.
but see, when I get mine, I'm gonna sit all the way back here.
Baby
So I need
girl,
mine to extend
what's
all the
your
way back here.
name? All right, y'all. We out. Say goodbye.
Bye. I'm tired.